When you look at what you were dealing with at the end of last year and what you're dealing with now, what's the main concern going forward? So if Omicron's dealt with, what does it mean for inflation forecasts?
Well, thanks for those words. It's been a pleasure to be here, always. You're right. I'm ending my term in a week. And then Norges Bank will present a new monetary report in March. And I'm not going to go into the sort of revised forecast. But I think you could go back to our most recent report in December, and it's correct to say that we have been one of the first central bank which has increased rates a couple of times on the background of a strong recovery of the Norwegian economy out of the COVID crisis, and I guess we're still there. And then, of course, we have the new information on inflation, which obviously will affect every judgment on monetary policy going forward. But I think I should stop there by now by my own analysis.
Oh, please don't, sir. Don't stop there. Governor, give us a sense then, the data that you and the team at the bank are looking at in terms of the health of the Norwegian economy. What is your take now as you look ahead to the months and the quarters ahead for the robustness, the sustainability of the growth that you're seeing in that country?
Well, I think that's easy just to underline that the Norwegian economy is strong. I mean, we still benefit largely by oil activities, and at the present level of oil prices, we have huge, significant revenues from oil and gas exports. And then we have all the other strong forces also in the mainland economy, and we have seen, as I stated, a strong recovery. We have the activity level of our economy is back at the pre-COVID level. Unemployment is down to close to normal. So if prospects continue more or less as we saw it in our December report, and there's not that much new information, of course there are uncertainties around, and every forecast would change, but I think there are all reasons to be quite optimistic on behalf of the Norwegian economy going forward.
So, Governor, given also, Norway has changed some of the restrictions and become much more open, do you think that, the worst of the pandemic is behind us?
Well, I'm not a health expert, but we have for a couple of years based our forecast on the experts on health, both in Norway and internationally. And I guess I base my view on what we're seeing, and we have the vaccine. And although the number of people being infected are quite high by our standards, the number of people being hospitalized is going down. So, I mean, that's the background for the reopening, the full reopening of the society, which took place a few days ago. So I think there are all reasons to be optimistic, both on behalf of the economy and as regards the health situation.
Governor, the markets are pricing in 3 rate hikes from the Norges Bank this year, possibly 4. Does that sound reasonable?
I should not comment on that. I go back to our recent forecasts, and there will be new information and a new monetary report from Norges Bank in a few weeks.
But Mr. Olsen, so if we look back at some of the biggest achievements in your 11-year term, so overall, do you think the markets have understood what you've been trying to communicate and continue to understand what you had been trying to communicate now?
Let me say, I hope so, and I think we have the view that we have our communication is quite open. We present quite detailed forecasts on the economy, and we present the future path of the policy rate, which is consistent with the forecasts. And these forecasts are revised every quarter in normal times. Mm-hmm. So I think the openness is there, and I think my picture is that the markets appreciate that kind of openness.
Okay, Governor, your successor will be Jens Stoltenberg, formerly or currently of NATO, taking over as the central bank. There's been concerns from the opposition parties about his proximity to the leadership there in Norway. Are you concerned about the impacts on the independence of the central bank as a result of this appointment?
No, not at all. Most Norwegians know Jens Stoltenberg as previous Minister of Finance and Prime Minister. I know him personally as well, there was something that has to be clarified by the Minister of Finance, which made the decision on his background. But personally, the decision is made. I'm 100% confident that knowing his experience, based on his experience and background, and his integrity, combined with the strong governance structure of Norges Bank and the staff and the competence, no problem at all.
All right, thank you so much.
As well.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out, Governor, whether this is going to be a break for all. I don't know what job is hardest, actually. What do you think is hardest, Governor? Is it, being governor of the Norges Bank, or right now being head of NATO?
Well, I think to have a responsibility for inflation prospects is important. But there are things in life which could be more threatening than having, say, inflation numbers which are slightly below or above a target. So I think we're all more worried about the security situation than on the inflation prospects.